The first time a woman says no and means it, the whole house tilts. Now Aunt Nancy says after the winter of the cold hearth, you would think the Rooster Man had learned everything there was to know about respect. You would be wrong. He was quieter now, yes, softer around the edges. He brought wood to the fire without being asked. He watched the way his wife's hands moved when she cooked, swept, blessed the doorway. But deep in his bones, he still believed the house would bend itself around him. One morning, when the snow had melted into muddy paths and the first sharp winds of early spring cut through the village, the Rooster Man's people came knocking. His sisters, his cousins, his loud-talking aunties, his forever-needing neighbors, they poured into the house like a river that had never seen a gate. "Sister," they called his wife, "make us a little something to eat." "Sister, watch these children." "Sister, can you lend a bit of salt? A bit of sugar? A bit of yourself?" She had always said yes. Yes until her bones ached. Yes until her eyes went dull. Yes until the fire inside her burned low and thin. But today was different. Aunt Nancy sat on her stone window ledge watching. Her locks were wrapped in a crimson scarf, gold glinting at her ears. A spider crawled over the window frame, spinning a web in a perfect circle. "She's almost ready," Aunt Nancy whispered. Inside, the Rooster Man's wife stood at the center of her kitchen, hands resting on the table. She listened to all the demands, all the sweetened words and hungry eyes. She heard her husband say, "My wife will handle it. She always does." And in that exact moment, something inside her stood up. Not her feet, not her hands, her spirit. She took a slow breath, like a tree deciding not to bend with the wind this time. Then she said one small word that shook the whole room. No. When a woman does not bend, every hidden thing shows its face. Silence fell so heavy even the pots on the shelf seemed to listen. The Rooster Man blinked. His sisters frowned. One of the aunties laughed too loud, as if the sound could erase what had been spoken. "What you mean, no?" they asked. "You tired today? You angry? You sick?" The wife wiped her hands on her cloth and said calmly, "I am not angry. I am not sick. I am simply finished bending." Aunt Nancy's grin stretched wide. "Oh-ho," she told the spider. "Here comes the good part." The sisters started in. "After all we've done, after how we welcomed you, after all the times we said your name." The Rooster Man shifted in his seat, feathers of pride ruffling. His old habit rose up, the urge to let his mouth run ahead of his mind. But the cold memory of that winter night sat on his bones like stone, and for once he stayed quiet. His wife turned to him, eyes steady, not pleading, not asking permission, just measuring. "Rooster," she said, "your family is welcome in this house. But my spirit is not a well for everyone to drink dry." One of the cousins scoffed. "So you think you better than us, Sitting here acting like a queen?" The wife smiled faintly. "I don't think I'm better," she said. "I know I am mine." Those words rippled through the room, invisible but sharp. Every woman there felt it in her chest, some with anger, some with envy, some with a secret, quiet hope. The children watched with wide eyes. They'd never seen a grown-up say no and stay calm. No shouting, no tears, no apologies hanging in the air like smoke. The Rooster Man felt the ground tilt under him. The same woman who had once shaped herself around his moods now stood like a stone pillar in the center of his life, and still she did not bend. "From today," she said, "I will help when I have it to give. Time, energy, food, patience. But I will not empty myself for anyone's comfort, not yours, not theirs. She looked every one of them in the eye. I am not a bridge to be walked across. I am a house of my own. A no spoken in truth becomes a shield. Word spread through the village faster than smoke. Some said, the Rooster Man's wife disrespected them all. Some said, she has turned cold. But others, quietly, in kitchens and over wash basins, said, she finally did what I've been dreaming of. Aunt Nancy walked the village paths unseen, listening to the women talk. Each, I could never, carried a crackle of fear. Each, maybe one day, carried a seed of courage. Back at the house, the Rooster Man watched his wife move through her day. He noticed something he'd never seen before. Without all the bending, she moved easier. Her shoulders sat lower. Her laughter, when it came, was not forced. It rang clean. That evening, as the sky deepened into indigo and the hearth glowed gold, he sat beside her. Your no, he began slowly. It made everyone angry. She nodded. Sometimes truth does that. It made me afraid, he admitted, barely above a whisper. She turned toward him, not unkind. What do you fear? She asked. That if you stop bending, he said, you will stop being here, with me. She looked at the fire for a long moment. Rooster, she said, the me you wanted was breaking. If I stayed bent, you would still lose me, only slower. Aunt Nancy perched at the window again, chin in her hand, eyes amused and soft. Say it, girl, she murmured. The wife continued. When I say no now, I am not leaving this house. I am returning to myself. Whether you meet me there is your choice. The Rooster Man swallowed hard. For all his crowing, he had never felt so small or so close to something honest. Outside, the wind shifted. The house itself seemed to exhale. From that day forward, the wife did not bend out of guilt. Her yes became a gift, not an obligation. Her no became a boundary, not a weapon. And slowly, the house adjusted to her true shape. Some relatives came less often. Some stayed, but softer. The children learned that love could be firm and gentle at once. As for Aunt Nancy, she smiled into the night, spider silk shimmering around her like a crown. Let them talk, she said. A woman who will not bend is not hard, she is rooted. And anything rooted in truth cannot be moved by noise.